Happy Thursday! Welcome to the Scoop World Order. It is Inauguration Eve for Jim Trestle as Lieutenant Governor, and somebody is going to be up in there looking suited and booted. And I'm really excited about it because your boy is going to be in the building tomorrow to see my guy get sworn into office. Super excited about that. It's going to be a great time. Super proud of him, and Scoop is going to be up in it. I can't wait. So, Minister of Scoop sounds like a good title for me. Looking forward to that when he becomes the governor in a couple years. So I'm excited about that. So we're going to take your questions as always. There's a lot of big news around the staff being reorganized, some winter workout updates. Who's been starring through the first few weeks, which again, I know that people say it's winter workouts. It's not spring practice. Like every day you get evaluated and graded. So we've got a little bit of an update from what's going on in the Woody right now. And also, combine invites were sent out today. A lot of snubs. Shiloh Sanders is not going. G. Scott is not going. Josh Fryer is not going. It is it's tough. I got invited to it, but they only usually keep it around 330-ish to 350-ish each year. And as far as I know, they've never added anybody after an outrage. So Shiloh Sanders is not invited. Not really surprising because it's tough to get invited to the combine, and it's not a be all end all. Like Andrew Norwell was the highest paid guard in NFL history and was not invited to the combine, which was an egregious, at least stupid error by those people. But hey, just put a little more gas on the fire because that's kind of what it is. So, but if you guys enjoy our content, please leave us a like, click subscribe, also click that little alert bell. Appreciate you guys. We're racing towards 40,000 subscribers. It's amazing. Keep spreading the good word. Send the show to your friends. Tell them to subscribe to it. Completely free content on here. The best chat in the entire world, led by Steely and the boys. Appreciate all you guys. Sean Schrock, the whole crew, our great administrators, moderators. Appreciate all you guys and gals for Kimbo. Love you guys. Thank you guys for all you guys do for keeping the chat nice and clean. Sean Rawling, Sean Schrock, our boy Devin, Akeem, and Kimmy. Appreciate all of you guys for all that you guys do. And also shout out to our first responders, our military folk, as always. Keep paying it forward to them. Love you guys to death. Appreciate you guys. And as we head into the weekend, I'm excited to be down in the government building because Nevada, the Scoop is going to be in the building, baby. I can't wait to see my guy take the oath of office tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. What are your thoughts on that? And some of the combine reaction. The combine thing has been interesting. 15 Buckeyes invited to the combine. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I mean, I've always thought it's funny because I've always kidded about Trestle being governor or Trestle being president. I mean, like really. And the fact that he's the lieutenant governor for the state of Ohio is just, it's crazy to me, but it's like the perfect choice. You couldn't have picked a better choice to be the lieutenant governor. And I only wish that he would fully dedicate himself to politics because he's truly a great man. And there's not a lot of great men around. I mean, this has nothing to do with party or red state, blue state, RD. I don't care. I'm just talking about great people. There's not enough of them. And Jim Trestle is a great man. You may not agree with everything he does, but man, he is smart. He is sincere. He is dedicated to his craft, whatever it might be. He is hardworking, and I think he represents everything that's good about Ohio. And so I'm really excited. I'm excited that he's going to be there. I'm excited that you got the invitation to wave the Scoop flag behind him as he gets sworn in. Are you going to hold the Bible when you're doing that? Are you doing that? Are you participating in any way in the ceremony formally? There and there, you're doing that. You're doing push-ups.
I was actually going to print out all of your nuggets and make a giant stack of them for the last 20 years, and I was going to have him swear his hand on that and make it like like a big glossy photo book of them. You know?
Oh, very nice.
Every nugget ever: the good, the bad, the ugly, the great. The Heartline is the DC 4 days before everybody else. The whole shebang. You know, I was like all of it. So that one will be right on top. You know, so
I love it.
That'd be pretty good.
That's exciting. Now, that's exciting. We got that going on. We've got a little bit of action going on with Yoder. We've got a bet $500 with Yoder on the over-under of Buckeyes drafted in the NFL draft. The number at 13. If it's 13, it's a push. If it's 12, we lose. If it's over 13, we win. I think that's easy money. I mean, I don't see any way that I think at worst that's a push, and I think I really think it's going to be 14 or 15. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, okay, let's just be pragmatic about this. That everybody's gonna be like, well, what do we, who, what, where, and why, whatever. All right, so Will Howard, lock. Trey Henderson, lock. Quinshon Judkins, lock. Donnie Jackson, lock. Seth McLaughlin, lock. Jack Sawyer, JT, lock. Ty Leak, lock. Cody Simon, lock. Denzel, lock. Lathan Ransom, Jordan Hancock, 12, lock. I mean, I don't see how you lose this. Ty Hamilton, there's no way Ty Hamilton, is a very good player, underrated, but his brother signed like a $48 million extension with the Jaguars, and he's about as good as his brother. So I don't see how Ty Hamilton doesn't get drafted. I mean, and I didn't even say Josh Sims and Emeka Egbuka are the two highest guys. So I mean, I don't know how you lose that. I mean, the only guy that could have any issue would be like Lathan Ransom, just because he's had so many injuries, but he was so good this year. I just don't know how he doesn't get drafted. Jordan Hancock's getting drafted. Denzel's getting drafted. Cody's getting drafted. I mean, that seems like the easiest bet of all time, honestly. I mean, if Seth McLaughlin gets maybe the worst medical report of all time on his Achilles, which he won't, but I can't see in 7 rounds, even with him having a torn Achilles winning the Remington Lesser, that he would not get drafted. But I mean, that seems like the greatest bet of all time. That's bordering like 13. That's like bordering when we said, hey, let's go bet on Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, and we bet a lot of money on that. And like after about 1 minute, I was like, yeah, this is the best bet we've ever made. I should have mortgaged my house on it. That's where that's at, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I mean, I've got the locks at Simmons, Jack, JT, Tyleek, Lathan, Denzel, Emeka, Will, Trey, Quinshon, and Donnie Jackson. That's 11. That's 11 locks right there. And then you got Cody. That doesn't include Cody Simon. That doesn't including Seth McLaughlin. That doesn't include Jordan Hancock. That's 14. And then you've got Ty Hamilton, who potentially could be 15. So
I would put Cody Simon and Jordan Hancock as absolute locks too. I don't see there's no scenario where those two guys don't get drafted. Absolutely none. There's no chance in the universe.
Yes. So that's 13. So it would mean we push if Ty Hamilton and Josh Fryer don't get, and obviously G. Scott don't get drafted.
And Seth McLaughlin. Right?
Well, we've got 11. 11 locks, and then Cody, Seth, Jordan are the next.
That's
3.
what I'm saying. So if Seth is the guy that, again, I don't think he's iffy at all, but he does have an Achilles, and again, I've seen dumber things happen, but he won the Remington, so I imagine someone in 7 rounds and 255 picks or whatever it is going to take Seth McLaughlin. I just don't think there's any way Jordan Hancock and Cody Simon aren't drafted. There's no chance in the universe, in my opinion. So really, it comes down to Seth and Hamilton.
Well, Seth, Ty, Josh Fryer, which I think Josh Fryer could go in the 7th round. I mean, that's not crazy talk. I mean, you're talking about a guy that started at right tackle for the national champions, could play certainly at guard, could play center. I mean, I don't think it's inconceivable that he's drafted. I'm probably below 50%, but not 0.
Yeah, I'd say probably like 25%. I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to remember, like, Michael Brewster was an All-American, was a way better player than Josh Fryer, and went to the Senior Bowl and had a good Senior Bowl, and he didn't get drafted. So, I mean, Andrew, there's no shame in not getting drafted. I mean, hell, I was one of the 7 or 8 last guys to get picked, but. I mean, Norwell didn't get drafted. Alex Boone didn't get drafted. Michael Brewster didn't get drafted. So it hasn't always been like a lock cinch. And then you look at some of the guys like Corey Lindsey, I think went in the 6th round or 5th round. And so there's a lot of guys that have way outperformed their draft slot. So yeah, I would take that money from Yoder too. I might call his ass and say, hey, let's go. I'll put some money up for that.
Let's double it up.
Except I would go way heavier than $500. I'd go as heavy as you'd want. I mean,
Yeah,
that's one where
I'll
to
take
get
50, I'll
over.
take 50, I'll take 50% of whatever you book, man. I'll take 50% of whatever you book with him because
Whatever I book,
I totally agree.
I honestly don't know how high he'd go on that because I would go as high as he would want to go. I think, honest to God.
Yeah,
But I look at that,
no,
I
I
think
agree.
there's just no way. You got to get 13 guys drafted out of that, and there's 12 lead pipe locks. And honestly, I think I would just, for the Remington Award winner to not get drafted would be, I don't know if that's ever happened. He's the first guy that I'd be iffy about. Him, I think Ty Hamilton gets drafted like mid the fifth, sixth roundish. There's guys like Ty Hamilton that play 12 years in the league and you never know who they are, but they play a lot and they make a lot of money. And Ty Lee, I mean, the rest of these guys are just locks. Like, I mean, it comes down to, Seth, Ty, and who's the other guy? And Lathan. Yeah, and I think Lathan could get drafted. Again, Lathan's only issue is his medical because he's had 800 injuries in his career. But this past year, he was as good of a safety. He was as good as Caleb Downs was, I thought. I thought he was excellent. So, and he's incredible leader, incredible glue guy. So I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm just insane, but I would kill to have Lathan Ransom on my team. Kill. Like, I mean, he's a guy you take in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, does everything right, hyper intelligent. Lathan's the kind of guy. I feel bad for guys like Lathan Ransom and Donnie Jackson. And I don't feel they won the national championship. Like, that supersedes everything else. But those guys that, like, on 99% of Ohio State's teams in the 100-year history would have been captains. This just happened to be the one year where we had 5,000 seniors and a lot of good leadership. So, and we only had 4 captains. This wasn't the Urban Meyer year where we had 17 captains and everybody gets to be a captain. Like, this is a year where I give Ryan credit, he whittled it down to 4. And God, I don't know. I don't know. That's pretty. It's going to come to the Lathan or Ransom not getting drafted. Phew. Tell me where to send the money, Yoder. Let's go. I'm gonna call him and say, you tell me how high you want to go on this one for 13 to get drafted. That is a cakewalk. Good Lord. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. That's wild. In terms of winter workouts, we got a little bit of intel. Not a lot going on right now. The guys are getting back in the swing of things. They're getting the champagne and the Patron out of their system for the last few weeks. And, it's, this is always an interesting time because, these first few weeks of workouts, this is where you realize that, like, the guys really aren't coming back. Like, this really is a totally new team because when you lose the amount of talent and the amount of leadership and the amount of seniority that we just lost, like, it's always one of those weird things. Cause I did it 4 times. I did it from my freshman to sophomore year, sophomore to junior to senior. Really my redshirt freshman to freshman. That was a step that I skipped. So it was like, you see that top crust kind of peel back and they're off training in Los Angeles and in Miami. And, they're not part of the team anymore. They'll always be Buckeyes, but they're not part of the team anymore. You're only part of the team while you're in the Woody, and you see coaches leave, you see players leave, and now this is kind of what the crew is. So some guys that have stepped up. Nevada, I'll let you go first. 5 guys that you've heard. We'll kind of alternate. We reach out to people, see who's kind of killing it right now. Some guys you've heard that have been stepping up in winter workouts.
Well, I'm going to go with number 5. It's going to be Carson Hinzman, a guy that I think is going to be really a leader. The last 2 years has been an iron Buckeye in the offseason workouts. One of our favorite players on the team for everything that this guy's faced, man. Started 11, 12 games and they benched him. They basically, I don't, this is kind of like the movie. There's an old movie that you're too young to remember, but there's an old movie called One on One with Robbie Benson, where he comes in as this hot shot basketball player and the coach benches him because he keeps going one on one and doing this stuff. And finally they need him in the big game and he steps up and wins the game and does all. It's a great old movie from like the 70s or 80s or whatever it was. But that kind of reminds me of Carson Hinzman. I mean, they literally just shoved him in the back. They're like, no, you're not going to play. You're not going to be center. You're not going to play guard. You're just not going to play, Carson, period, end. And then they got injuries. And then they need him, and he balls out. and wins the national championship for him, and is one of the vocal leaders, the spiritual leaders, the holler guys on the team. Was one of the guys him with Josh Fryer were dunking Ryan Day with the Gatorade at the end of the national championship game, and he's a guy that I think has to step up next year, because this year we talked about the plethora of leadership on the team. Next year, man, there's just a real void of. There's just not a lot of older guys on the team, and Carson's not even a senior. He's only going to be a redshirt junior, but he's going to be one of the elder statesmen, because there just aren't that many upperclassmen on next year's team, and so I fully expect him to be a guy. He's obviously already leading the way. Will be leading the way through the winter workouts, through spring football, through summer conditioning, and into fall camp. Carson Hinzman's going to be a guy that we're going to hear from. And we just talked about the Remington Award, said this before, we'll say it again. He'll win the Remington before he leaves Ohio State. He's that good, that important to Ohio State, and that good of a player.
What was the name of the movie that you said I'd never seen before, never heard of, because I'm not as old as you?
One-on-One? The One-on-One. Robbie Benson, One-on-One.
Robbie Benson. And
what was
the correlation to Carson Hinzman? He was like Robbie Benson because he played one-on-one and got benched, and they put in Matt Jones, who didn't know the calls.
He got benched, and they just like completely just gunned over this guy, just try to get him to quit, make him run the stadium stairs, just embarrass him, humiliate him, but he wouldn't quit. He wouldn't give up his scholarship. It's kind of like Carson. I mean, look, they embarrassed that kid. They literally embarrassed. They publicly embarrassed him. They were talking about him in the media. They were stuff, and he just hung in there, man, like grim death. He hung in there.
Like grim death.
like grim death. Kind of like Burt Carton. I remember Burt Carton at the Caesars buffet. Just like you hung in there, man. You went there for those extra.
We never went to the Caesars buffet. We went to your stupid Gordon Ramsay place and ate your stupid London broil, beef Wellington or whatever you ate.
That's because it was closed because of the stupid COVID. The COVID closing down.
11 a.m. We went to the beef Wellington joint.
Oh,
was it beef Wellington?
Good. I had beef Wellington. Yes, I did.
That's what you had.
If you go to Gordon Ramsay, you gotta have the beef Wellington. I'm going to Vegas here in a few weeks. Are you coming with me, Kirk? You coming with me to Vegas in a few weeks? Oh no, you're not coming with me to Vegas in a few weeks. I'm going to Gordon Ramsay that night too. Friday night, Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, I am. I'm taking the
UFC fight. I hope there's a global pandemic and they cancel the fight and you're stuck there at the casino forever. I'm going to tell Trust to have a global pandemic breakout again. It's really the flu, but it's a global pandemic. We're going to be like, monkeypox are going to shut down the T-Mobile Arena. It's going to be great. You're going to be standing outside with your little ticket.
I'm going to be isolated inside the T-Mobile Arena on the club level in my little Half Moon suite.
It's a table, right? Or is it a suite? It's a table, the crescent moon.
It's called the Loge. The Loge.
Count Chocula Loge. It's got Count Chocula on the side of it, like you.
I love it, man. I love.
Look for the guy in the Buckeye Scoop hoodie that looks like Count Chocula, and then you'll be that's the guy. That's him. And then get his tab too. You are Frankenberry. All right, so number 4 for me has got to be the guy that I've heard more about than anybody. And again, this is going to be like, oh, shocker, Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs is a guy that is literally the team leader as a true junior now. And he is vocal as the day is long. And he reminds me of a movie that Nevadabuck is probably too old to have seen just because he's old. He probably won't remember it anyway. But, if there's one movie that reminds me of Caleb Downs, it absolutely has to be, and I had to dig this up, it has to be a movie that Nevada has seen. It's called Air Bud. So Air Bud is a movie about a golden retriever that can play basketball, and he dunks it, and he shoots the ball with his nose and stuff. And that's the movie that really reminds me of Caleb Downs, because as much as his one-on-one dumb movie was, Caleb Downs is like Air Bud.
That's the dumbest. This is the dumbest movie reference that we've ever had.
He is Air Bud. You know why? Because just like Air Bud and like golden retrievers, who doesn't like a golden retriever and who doesn't like Caleb Downs. So
Oh my
Nevada, I
God.
will give you
Oh
the
my
floor
God.
now to
Oh.
shred. Because again, I was like, I knew that you said something really dumb, and I was like, well, I'm gonna try to top the one-on-one thing. So I'm gonna compare Caleb Downs to Air Bud because everybody loves basketball and everybody loves golden retrievers, and Caleb Downs is like a basketball playing golden retriever because he's just that good. So, what are your thoughts on that, Nevada?
Well, did you ever see the movie MVP, Most Valuable Primate, the one about the monkey that played goalie or something like that for the team? Like that, you remember that
No,
one? Seriously, MVP, Most Valuable Primate. You can check that one out there too. That was kind of in the Air Bud genre of sports playing animals that they had out there. But Air Bud did also. He did soccer. He did football. He was like a golden retriever or golden receiver or something like that.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. There was a
So
whole series of those. Yeah.
there you go. It's Caleb Downs one on one to Air
Go
Bud,
watch.
baby. I
Go
told
watch
you.
one. Go watch one on one. Go watch one on one. Anybody who's out
It,
there, you guys see it. You guys know if you're a little bit older, you watched one on one. It was one of the great coming of age movies out there. For these youngsters, don't know. They don't make every movie now is like some superhero movie. It's like, well, does it have like some guy with superpowers or some guy Shazam or something? No, it was just a movie about a little kid from a little town that played basketball. And it was a great movie, one on one.
it wasn't like the football movie where the guys like went back and replayed the game from high school. Like, what was that
Oh,
called?
that was a great. That was called The Best of Time. That had Kurt Russell as
Best
Reno
of times.
Hightower, which is the greatest role of all, the greatest sports role of all time. The White Sox, the whole 9 yards. Come on,
That's not even anywhere
Reno
near
Hightower.
his greatest role ever. Because when he was in Overboard, and then Goldie Hawn got thrown overboard and had amnesia, and then she became like a hillbilly housewife. That was I don't know
I
how many Academy Awards that won, but it should have won all of them. I'm just saying.
I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say Snake Plissken or something like that from Escape from New York.
Snakes on a plane.
Snakes on a
All right,
plane.
who's number three for you?
Uh,
King Edric.
I'm going to go Edric Houston. Yeah,
Uh,
Edric Houston, my big daddy on the defensive line, a guy that we look at the defense. The defense is only going to go so far next year as the interior line or just the entire
mhm.
line because you're losing Jack and JT and Ty Leak and Ty Hamilton. That is between those guys, 200 starts or whatever. It's some crazy number of starts for those guys, and you know, you can't. There's no replacement for experience, and those guys were so good, so productive, so clutch, so many big plays. Edric Houston's got to step up, and he's going to be looked to step up in a big way. The good news is he's immensely talented kid. Going to be playing in a great system with Matt Patricia. They're going to get him ready and get him going, but we need him to be great next year. If we're going to be good, he needs to be great. And Edric Houston's a guy that they're going to. Yeah, he didn't play a lot, but when he played, he flashed. He made some splash plays. They're looking at him to have a big offseason, and I think he will. And I think he's a guy that's going to lead the way in the winter. He's been waiting his time, and his time's now. Kind of like
I
Robbie
think
Benson was in one-on-one.
kind of like Airbud when that ball hit the nose, man. You knew it was a wrap.
It's
It was a
going
wrap.
in every time.
Airbud.
Every time.
So, Caleb Downs is the Airbud of college football. Yeah, Edric's the guy. I think he's got a higher ceiling now with what Matt Patricia does on defense than what he's done with guys that are like Edric Houston. Edric Houston's like JT. Like JT, Jalen Tuimoloau is a guy that, those are the kind of guys, man, they just loved in New England. Guys that could play three technique, they could play end, they could play odd front, they could play, true defensive end in a 4-down look. They could play everything. And those are guys that are going to thrive in because I think Matt Patricia is going to throw just a flurry of curveballs when he takes over this defense. And like I told you earlier, Nevada, when we talked one of the 8,000 times that I call you a day, the biggest benefit to hiring Matt Patricia for Ryan Day is now Steve Sarkisian has no idea what he's going to see on defense. Like if we promote Matt Guerrieri and Tim Walton and Okay, well, I guess all of the film that they ran last year is valid, and this is the scheme that we're going to get, and the structure, and this is the defense that they played against us in the bowl game. Now, no clue. I mean, Steve Sarkisian's got to go study, Detroit film, New England peak film. I mean, the breakdown, you might as well throw it in the trash now because, I mean, we'll run some of the stuff that we've done the past 3 years with Jim Knowles, but I mean, Matt Patricia's going to put his stamp on this defense, and he's going to mix coverages up and do what he thinks is best with the personnel, and he's going to do what he can to disrupt what Stark likes to do. I mean, he loves to get the ball to the back in the passing game. We know that. So is Matt Patricia going to blitz some more and make that guy stay in the backfield and try to defend a little bit and pick up some of these linebackers? Again, another guy I think that could have a huge a guy whose stock is incredibly low right now who could have it soar is CJ Hicks. If CJ Hicks can just get a role in this defense where he can become become a pass rusher, become an edge setter, become an outside linebacker. Like, I think, the less CJ has to think, the better he'll be because his awareness and his reaction time kills him. He's just not a quick processor, but make him an edge player, make him go down there and get physical. Like he's a ripped up kid, talented, explosive kid, but you put him in the middle of the field and make him try to guard a tight end or read guards and read keys. And he's like an old computer out there, and again, so that's on and that's not on James Ornitis or Jim Knowles. That's just how some players are. You try to get them to speed that clock up a little bit, or you try to put them on the edge and make them a defensive end. And we had guys like that, like Jamal Marcus was a classic, and you recruit heads remember Jamal Marcus. Jamal Marcus was, if you watched his high school highlight tape, man, he was a freak show. And he was a guy that I remember we're sitting with Urban, and Urban loved these like impossible to get into school guys like Jamal Marcus. Like the fact that we got him into the university was, I mean, it would be easier for like one person to build the pyramids in like a week than it would be to get him into but we got him in, and we tried him out at linebacker, and he'd get there and he'd look the part, like he was jacked up, had the dreadlocks and everything. Put him in that box, and man, we stopped that ball, and it was like he was a 3-second delay before he moved. And by the time he got there, man, he's getting blocked into infinity and beyond. So eventually, we just had to move him to defensive end, and we did. And he was disruptive. Like, I mean, again, like you gotta figure out what guys can do and what they can't do, more importantly, and then you gotta position them accordingly. And so we put Jamal at defensive end, and I had him on scout team, man, and he used to wear our tackle. The tackles want to kill him because he was so fast. I mean, he was like lightning, and he didn't have to think. So again, if a guy isn't a quick read and react guy and he can't get the keys, just tell him to rush the passer. It'd be fantastic. So, yeah, but I don't know. Who is your number 2, Nevada?
My number 2 is going to be James Peoples. This guy that you talk about everything walking out of the running back room with Trey and Quinchon, kind of a legendary duo of guys that just kept delivering big play after big play. You took virtually every snap last year, and now poof, they're gone, and there's a lot of carries to go around, and you're bringing in a transfer from West Virginia. You're bringing in some highly recruited freshmen, but Bo Jackson's injured or coming off a big injury. So James Peoples is a guy they're looking to big time to have a huge year. And the good news is they really think he's the next one. They really think he's a guy that's got that big playability. He's he's not as fast as Trey, but I think he's a little bit more. I would say more elusive than Quinchon, but he's a lot like Quinchon. He plays a lot like Quinchon. Has the same type of top end speed. I don't know if he's as tough as Quinchon, but he's a little bit shiftier, and he's a really good player. And I think he's a guy that how important the running game is to Ohio State. Yeah, we like to throw it. We've got Carnell and Brandon Innes and JJ and Brian Hartline is our OC and Ryan Day is our head coach. We're definitely going to be throwing the ball, but you got to have a running game. And to have a running game, you need to have more than capable running backs. And James is a guy they're looking to. He's poised to have a big year, poised to have a big offseason. And so number 2 on my list for big offseason is going to be James Peoples.
I think number 1 for me, I got to go with Luke Montgomery, man. I think Luke's a guy that has he made humongous strides in the playoffs to the point where he was starting by the national championship game after not playing all season. So now that he's gotten another year of strength and confidence, and I just can't imagine he's out of starting left guard and he's not playing at an All-American level next year, just because based off the tape where he played against the best guys he's going to play against, and he played. We're married to Tigra, and again, or Tegra. I think Tegra is a nice kid, but he's not anywhere near as good as Luke Montgomery or Austin Sauerwald, in my opinion. Now, could he prove me wrong? Sure. Do I want guys that are really consistent and good? Yes. So, I mean, I need guys that know what they're doing, that are reliable, because guess what? On Luke's left side, on his left hand, he's going to have Ethan Onwa from Rice, who's the 6'6", 330-pound tackle. And sure, he's a really sharp kid because Rice is a great school, and he's a 5th-year guy, so he's mature. But there's going to be times where he's not going to know what he's doing. So Luke, you got to have guys that really know what they're doing, so that if they have a question in the beginning of spring and they have to ask something, then you got Luke right there. And the same with Philip Daniels, who's going to be the youngest guy on the line next year as a 3rd-year kid. Austin Sauerwald is wicked sharp, knows what he's doing. Carson Hinzman, wicked sharp, knows what he's doing. So you're gonna have to help these tackles out because it's a new offense. Again, it's not denigrating the kids. It's just that I switched offenses in the NFL. I switched offenses in college, and when you're a new guy, like you can go over it on the blackboard and the grease board and install meetings, but once the bullets start flying and it's tough, it helps when you've got guys that are confident to know what they're doing, and they can do it with conviction. So I think Luke Montgomery, he has to take a step to become an All-American next year. He's going to be a true junior, draft eligible, so he's got a lot of reason to do it. And I'd always tell the guys that are draft eligible, these guys 30 years, it's like you just want to have the option to be able to go pro. That's it. You don't have to go pro, but you don't want to be a guy that has to come back because you stunk as a 3rd-year junior. So Luke's my number 1. Again, I think that he's getting stronger in the gym, in the weight room, but he plays very strong on the field, which again, that's more important, is how you look on the field as opposed to how there's a lot of guys that can push weight and put up these huge numbers in the weight room that don't play strong on the field. But I think Luke's going to continually get stronger in the gym. Like, he's a guy I'd love to work with because I don't want him to become a bull, and I think he's on the verge of becoming that, and we're going to need that in the running game with a new quarterback and a lot of new faces. So. That is our list. Nevada, any thoughts? We'll start digging into some super chats.
Yeah, we lose a lot. we lose a lot. I've said it before, but the only thing that makes it palatable and makes it fun is that we're going out as the national champions. Mission accomplished. These guys all came back, and I've said it to you many times. I'm like, this group of seniors did absolutely nothing. They accomplished none of their goals. Their first 4 years at Ohio State, and then they won it all. And yeah, the great movie poster from the movie One-on-One there with Robbie Benson.
It says, "You're not big enough, you're not sharp enough, you'll never make it." Story of Buckeye Scoop.
Kind of like Carson Hinzman or little Burt Carton. I remember a story about a little boy named Burt Carton who was a little 3-star recruit, and he comes and he leaves with a tree with Nevadabuck in the Grove. So Nevadabuck and Burt Carton, both great Americans, great football players at Ohio State.
Great American heroes. It's kind of like you know what it really reminds me of? Reminds me of Ali Lubaugh. There were people that said
he's never going to play. Never going to play her. Never
ever. Ali Lubaugh.
I was also going to play her.
I was told the Carson Wentz was better than Cam Newton. I was like, dude, Cam Newton won an MVP.
Oh, yeah.
Catch you with the bullshit.
So you never saw that movie? You never saw that movie? You never saw the movie?
I've never heard of the movie. Never heard of it.
Anybody in the chat ever hear of the movie One-on-One? Great sports movie. Legendary sports movie.
Everybody just left the chat as soon as you said that. There's nobody in the chat now. It's all empty.
Okay. How about MVP, most valuable primate? I'm going to send you that one.
What about Air Bud? Yeah. Crowd goes crazy for Air Bud. Air Bud. That's Caleb Downs, baby. Air Bud. Who doesn't like Air Bud? Nobody. Everybody loves some Air Bud. All right. MCK Buckeye, thank you for the 5. Say hi to my wife. Represent Alive King tomorrow. She will be there. Tell her to say hi to me because I don't know who she is, but she'll know who I am because I'll be the big giant guy in a monkey suit. So tell her to say what's up. I will be there, large and in charge and tearing up at the thought of Jim Trestle putting his hand on Nevadabuck's 7,000 nuggets he's written since he was, in his mid-teens, and he's been nuggeting ever since. So it'll be quite the scene. So look for the guy with the giant scoop flag draped over his shoulders and smoking a cigar in the middle of the rotunda. It'll be fantastic. Nevada, any thoughts on that? Sounds like there's gonna be some scoop folks in the building tomorrow.
Yeah, you guys go up and say hello to Kirk Barton there because Kirk likes to go undercover, and I'm like, Kirk, you can't go undercover when you're 6'5" and 330 pounds, and you got that big block head right there. Nobody's ever going to believe that you're not a football player. They're going to know. They're always going to know.
That's right. Blockhead. Jeez. Jim Jackson, what is up, my man? I hope you and the wife are good. Thank you for the 10, my dude. Still laughing at whiter than mayonnaise in the sun. It's truth. Some of these are whiter than mayonnaise in the sun, baby. Almost crashed my car laughing. Hashtag Jessica Alba Buck. Hashtag gimmicky. People, that's going to go on a sweatshirt. Gimmicky. Hashtag fatty hate. Hashtag dynastic DoorDash runs. Hashtag Scoop had it first. Jim, I love you, dude. That is those are great hashtags. I mean, this is all going to go on a t-shirt because Jessica Alba Buck is that's like a thing now. People they say that. It's like if you merge Nevadabuck and Jessica Alba together and you wrap them like a human London broil, then all this, or beef Wellington or whatever the hell that thing is, like cake meat thing or whatever it is. There you are. There you are.
Jessica. Man, that's the best. We had to break into the show to report the breaking news that she was divorcing her husband and everything like that. That was big. That's a big day. Turning point.
That's turning point. That's like getting Jim Knowles. She got rid of Carrie Combs and she's looking for a Jim Knowles. She's looking for
a wise old bird.
wise old out. She's like, does anybody have a crescent moon table for UFC 308? Anybody?
Most valuable primate MVP.
Most valuable parlay mate. It's like, I got a bagger. Minus 450, minus 700. It's like,
Jessica.
Hammer time.
He's like, hammer time.
He's like, if I get Jessica Alba, I'm not taking her to the Caesars buffet. I'm taking her to the Wynn buffet. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's the
one. That's the only one. The Wynn buffet. Oh my God, I appreciate you, Jim. You're the best, my dude. Jamie Coburn, thank you for 20. Good morning from Japan, Konnichiwa. To the fans out here, stop being negative. Enjoy the national title. I love the new hires. Fresh set of eyes to enhance what we do. I love it too. The 2025 season hasn't played out. We are defending champs. Dude, that's awesome. That's a great post. That's how I am. I'm like, I love the fresh eyes. I think Matt Patricia is going to be awesome. And I'm excited for all the guys that moved on. I mean, even Jim Knowles. I can't hate Jim Knowles, even though he went to Penn State and he took Ray's he got us a national title. I don't care what he does. We have a national title, and it's a more recent national title than Michigan. So I haven't seen a single piece of Michigan clothing since we won the national championship. And it's like exterminating vermin and cockroaches with one nuclear blast. When we have the more recent national title, it doesn't matter if they beat us. It doesn't matter if they won a national title. Our last game, we won the national championship. That's better than anything they did this year. It's better than anything they're going to do in the future. So all the Michigan stuff is vanquished. When they say, oh, we beat you head-to-head, Nobody cares. You don't get a trophy for winning that game. I won it 4 times. Well, you get no trophy. You get a little piece of gold pants. It's great. We got a giant gold trophy that Ryan Day gets to hang and hold up in the air and do the damn thing with. So that is a great post. Nevada, your thoughts again. And I don't know how people can be negative because we are the defending national champions and we just hired Matt Patricia as our DC, which I think is a fantastic hire. But I love the new hires too. I love the positivity in this. So I appreciate you, Jamie. Nevada, any thoughts on anything Jamie had to say?
Well, I hate to break this to you, Kirk, but those are not gold. Those are little tin pants that are kind of like spray painted gold and stuff like that.
Oh, trust me, I know. I tried to trade mine for a Caesar's buffet, and they said you gotta take yourself down. Oh no! Hang on.
Oh no! Oh no! Your phone's. What's going on with your phone?
I got someone breaking in here. Hang on 1 second. Hang on. Someone's breaking into my house. Look at this.
Oh no.
James Yoder. James Yoder in the flesh on my shoulder like a little parakeet.
You haven't seen any Michigan clothing? I just want to make sure you saw it.
Hey,
I'm wearing one.
how much are we betting on this bet? 13 Buckeyes drafted. Do we get 500 too, Nevada and I? Put that in escrow because I know you guys are about to be bankrupt like your merchandise store, Yoder. How high are you willing to go on that? Because I don't even know where I'd stop.
Which one?
The same bet that Funky has. The same one you do with Funky Buckeye.
Which bet? The vacated or the players drafted?
Players drafted. If you're giving away free money, we're about that life. We love free money.
I'll go several thousand on the under 13. I win. Over 13, you win. 13, we're even.
Sold. Done.
Okay, how much? How much?
How much?
2,000.
Two.
Oh,
that's
it. Done.
I'll do that in a heartbeat. Done.
Let's do 2. Let's keep it real. 2.
Okay, we'll do 2. Nevada and I each in for 1,000. Yes.
Fair enough.
All right.
Hey, have you seen this thing though? It's really awesome.
What is it? Is it say vacated?
That's
vacated. Make sure you watch this because you're literally on my shoulder like a little parakeet. It's great.
Do you have one of those, Kirk? Do you guys have one of those from 2024? Win over?
No, ours says Buckeye Scoop because we're the #1 brand every year. We don't need to worry. We don't vacate stuff, and our stuff doesn't go.
10-2, Kirk.
No, it says we're undefeated. We're 2024 site national champions, podcast national champions, website national champions, everything national champions, handsome national champions, all of it. And we're about to have $2,000 of your money. We're gonna go straight to Sapphire afterwards. I can't wait.
Ohio State's one good. They got the best scoop of all. That's why I love you. Buckeye Scoop, the best. I love you guys.
You're the best, brother. I'll see you, and I'll put that money in escrow. I'm just kidding. I know you're good for it. All right, brother.
All right, talk to you,
see you, bro. Bye. Woohoo! Free money, baby. Thank you, Yoder. Let's go. Let's Draft party in Las Vegas. The money will be wired into my Zelle. I can't wait. Dude, that's the best free money. I mean, God bless. Could Jake Paul fight Tyson again too? Make my life even better. Jesus. All right. Well, hell, that was great. I mean, I never answer a FaceTime on this show, but I was like, for a couple $1,000, man, I'm down all day, every day. Whew. All right, you guys all saw Yoder. Yoder's about to be $2,000 lighter, so drinks will be on Nevada's half of the bet. It'll be great. And then I'll keep mine. So cool. All right. That was great. MT Brian 3, thank you for the 20. Appreciate you, my dude. Jim Trestle is one of the greatest human beings I've ever met. Being from Youngstown, I've talked to him a few times. He's always personable and outstanding to talk to. Never understood his haters. They must live miserable lives. People that hate Jim Trestle, it says much more about them than it does him. I mean, I've never introduced Jim Trestle to anybody that wasn't like, holy crap, he's really like that. I was like, yeah, he's really like that. People think he's like some sort of a automatron, nice person all the time. But he's really like that. Now, he's funny, and on the football field, he can be a killer. Now, I know he wears a vest and he wears glasses and stuff, so you don't think that, but he's a bad mofo on the coach. I mean, we get ready to play Michigan, man. There was no No holds barred, baby. That's why he used to, wax him every year, because it wasn't because he was Mr. Nice guy. I mean, he dressed nice, but it didn't mean he was ready to kill you. But God, I love Jim Trestle so much, man. He is the absolute best, and I'm so excited for him. I'm excited every time he does something great, becomes president at Youngstown, or gets the position with the Colts, or gets the position in Akron. I'm always so happy for him, and now that he gets to be lieutenant governor, so excited to see him get enshrined tomorrow. But yeah, he's a different cat, man. I mean, I've seen him. Because I didn't just play for him. I worked for him. I was like his little gopher when I was a QC making $24,000 a year. Like I had to go get gas in his car and go pick up his lunch. And I mean, I did whatever he asked me to do. He would do this wood. One of his big hobbies is he loves to build stuff in his wood shop. So when he had his house in Arlington, he would be building desks and chairs and all this other stupid stuff that he liked to do. And he would call me randomly and say, Bart, hey, I got a load of stuff. Can you take it to the Woody? And so I would drive to his house, like from Dublin, and drive to his house. And he'd have this old Dodge Ram loaded down with all this old cut up wood. And I would drive it to the Woody, to the back dumpster, and I'd empty it out for him. I'd throw all the wood into the thing for him and whatever. And I'd drive it back to his house, and I'd get in my car and drive home. But like, that was like the level of respect I had for him. I'd do anything for the guy, but he was like, he's the best. So it's like, I was like, of course, coach, anything you need me to do, I'll do. But it's just like, he's always been the man. He's got the best memory of any human being I've ever met. Cause he'll remember like my cousin who he met one time when I was in 12th grade and getting recruited. And he came over during the in-home visit, and then he sees him 15 years later and remembers his name. Like, I was like, nobody does that. But he did, because he's that guy. He's like Professor X. He just has this incredible recall. So, yeah, I love Tress. He's the best. Just a good dude. Nevada, your thoughts, MT3. Brian, again, it says Tress is one of the greatest human beings ever met. Being from Youngstown, I've talked to him a few times. He's always personable and outstanding to talk to. What are your thoughts, Nevada?
Yeah, he's just exactly who he comes across as. That's who he is, and just he's that way all the time. And yeah, don't let the vest fool you, because he's a killer. You don't win as many national championships and as big games as he did without being a killer. He's a stone cold killer, but a great guy and great representative. He's Mr. Ohio. I mean, nobody's more Ohio than Jim Trestle, and really excited for tomorrow. It's gonna be a great day.
Yeah, he's the best. Stacey J, what's up, my girl? I hope you're doing good. Golf outing is coming soon. Thank you for the 5. There should be an offer as well. 5 for the number of days it takes for the media to catch up to you guys. Ha! It's funny. I love that. Every time I see breaking news from other outlets, I just laugh. Nevada OH. Nevada, is your favorite line when we go and smash all of the lazy, credentialed, terrible media, when they say, well, we need to see if it comes from a verified source or a reputable source, or we're waiting on official confirmation, or we've got our feelers out to our sources within the program, within the Woody Hayes, and they really don't have jack. What are your feelings? You just laugh at? We literally do a podcast at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday, which we've never done before, because we had something nailed easily 3 days before anybody else did. But like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, oh, well, we have to wait to see, and maybe we're going to get back to who we got to know, and Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Like, I love that.
No, my favorite saying is "Scoop had it first," and that's why we always like to put it out there. We like to do it just to kind of torment those other sites too. So just understand when we do it, we're tweaking all those other sites.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Like, wow, why are Crook and Nevada like just doing this? We're doing it to tweak. We're trolling them. So yeah, Scoop had it first, but I mean, it's true though too. But we work hard at this. This isn't an act. These aren't lucky guesses, or these aren't we work really, really hard at it. And we pride ourselves on doing it, because we know that inside information is where it's at, and it's just about having the sources, and we're good at the game. But yeah, Scoop had it first. Scoop will always have it the first, and having it the first is the best.
Well, people are like, well, I wonder what really happened inside the team meeting. I'm like, well, if you're on Buckeye Scoop, like the day it happened, we had an entire nugget on exactly what was said in the meeting, who said what in the meeting, what Ryan Day's reaction in the meeting. I mean, then we did a podcast that had get like 90,000 views. So I'm like, I guess the people that didn't watch that are still like, wow, I didn't know that there were people that were upset and people were yelling at each other and they were crying. I was like, well, we had the whole breakdown of the meeting. We had people in the meeting. I mean, that's the thing is like, we're not, our job is to source stuff accurately, which we're the best at, and get it first, which we're also the best at. So if you want, it's like I always tell people like, look, I get like there's people that they all want to kind of be average to below average, mostly below average because they're enslaved by, Ohio State and Jerry Emig and, oh, you can't report that. You can't say anything that's intelligent. You have to say what we tell you. And then there's us where we're just like, you know what? We're going to tell you what's actually happening because there's a big difference sometimes. This isn't state media. This isn't the dishonest media. This is the real thing. So I don't know. I just, I love our positioning because people are like, well, damn, like I actually want to know what's going on with Ohio State. So I better subscribe to these guys because these other guys don't have anything and they're not allowed to have anything. And even if they do have something, they're not allowed to say it. So what's the point? So again, I love where we're at. It's great. D Sonny, what is up, my friend? Thank you for the 5. Hope you're doing great. Talk about Edric Houston being versatile. Who are some of the most versatile players you've seen when it comes to playing multiple positions? It's a great question. Ooh, I mean, at Ohio State, Cam Hayward could play 3 technique and he could play D tackle. Will Smith could play defensive end and he played walk around linebacker. Dante Whitner was a guy that should have started for us at corner in 05, but we moved him to safety. But Dante was good enough to play corner. He was athletic and quick enough to do it. Rob Sims played left tackle, started at left tackle as a true freshman in the national championship game versus Miami. I moved down to guard. Doug Dadish was a great one. Doug Dadish started at guard, tackle, and center at Ohio State, which is exceptionally rare. I only played tackle. And, oh, God, who else? I'm just trying to think of guys that position flexibility and moved around a little bit. That's a pretty good list, I think. And then guys that I've seen, like with recency. Oh God, I'm just trying to think of some guys that would play like linebacker and nickel, and come up and play defensive end, and then they'd bounce back. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty good list. Nevada, who are some guys that you thought were versatile at Ohio State over the last few years?
I'm going to go by the Wayback Machine, but I think Luther Henson, was all Big Ten defensive line, and then he switched to offensive line. And I've always thought those guys that could kind of go from one side of the ball to the other and excel at that were amazing because, heck, it's hard enough to play one position, let alone to, normally when you get moved, it's because you weren't good enough to play on one side of the ball, but when you're filling a position of need, and Donnie Jackson to go this year from guard to tackle and play tackle at an extremely high level for Ohio State to lead us to a national championship. That I think that's one of the more incredible stories that we'll ever see. And Caleb Downs obviously could play anywhere on the field, could probably play 3 or 4 different positions. Alonzo Spellman was a specimen, could have played anywhere on the line, played stand-up linebacker in high school, so he has some special skills as well. But versatility is key, but for Ohio State, it's all about kind of getting it done when you have the call, and that's why I like the selfless play. Like I said, the Donnie Jackson thing to me will always be kind of a, he didn't need to slide out there, but they needed him to slide out there, and he did. And if he couldn't get it done, we don't win the national championship. If Donnie doesn't handle it at left tackle, we're not winning this year. No chance. No matter what everybody else did, the game stops. And he went out there and how many sacks did he give up? After moving out, I know he had the game against Carter and Penn State and stuff, but he didn't give it. I don't remember it being a gold rush from the left side when he was out there. He seemed to stop guys in their tracks, and enhanced his draft stock along the way. So, great Buckeye, one of the great stories of 2024.
Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic. RJ, what's up, my dude? Regit Sorry, Pink Floyd piano cover artist. Follow my dude on YouTube, man. He's got some huge videos, 300,000 views. Dark Side of the Moon, baby. I like it. Thought about putting We Don't Need No Education at the end of our show because I actually love that song. So he's got a sweet piano version of it. So that might be our new outro. But with that being said, the Buckeyes had 4 non-QB offensive playmakers with 1,000 yards and 10 TDs. You remember anything like that before at OSU or anywhere, Nevada OH? I don't, and I think part of it is because of how proficient we were on offense, but part of it's because we played 16 games. I mean, that's a long. I mean, you got to remember, like a million years ago when I played, like we played in the national title, we played 13 games. So when you throw 3 more games on top of the stat sheet, man, that's a lot of football. And the crazy thing is, we still could have, obviously you can't. I mean, I guess you could play the Big Ten championship and lose the Big Ten championship and not get the bye, and then you can play. I guess you can play 17 games in a year, which would be insane. But I mean, it's hard. I mean, obviously those numbers are incredible, but adding 3 games is also makes it possible. But I don't remember anything like that ever. Nevada, your thoughts? Do you remember there being 4 non-QB offensive playmakers with 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns? I don't think that's ever happened before.
Yeah, no, and you're right. It's the expansion of the season because those guys wouldn't have made it if they only played 14 or even 15 games. But having said that, to have it's going to be a long time before we see a quintup. What do we want to call it? Like Emeka, JJ, Trey Quinshon, and Will Howard at Ohio State. I mean, if we didn't win the national championship this year, it would have been a crying shame because it wouldn't have been for lack of talent on either the field, in the coaching booth, or anywhere else up and down. This was a talented team, and I'm just so happy that they delivered. I mean, it was beautiful to watch, and they were due. We were due some good luck. We talked about the small sample variance and missing, guys. Olave goes the wrong way, or calls go the wrong way, or kicks get missed, and the ball bounces up to Jack Sawyer. Instead of bouncing away, or because even if he doesn't run 90 yards or 89 yards for a touchdown with that, we still got to get a first down because Texas probably holds us, and then we got a punt, and we have to grip the end of that game. But he ended it, and we were due. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it really is. MT3 Brian, thank you for the 5. Appreciate you, my friend. What are your guys' thoughts on Kaden Curry? I think he can have a big year. He seems to always be around the ball and made a lot of plays when he got in. Nevada OH. All right, Nevada, I'll let you go first on this one.
No, he's got to be good. I mean, he's the guy that Kenyatta Jackson's got to be good. Edric's got to be good. McDonald's got to be good, and Kaden Curry's got to be good for us to have any chance, because he has played a lot. Whenever he's been in there, he's done good things. He's made big plays. He's been around the ball. He has an uncanny ability to sack the quarterback. But can he be an every down player now? Now he's got to be Jack Sawyer. Now he's got to be JT Tumalo. So now it's his time. Kaden, much is going to be expected of him because he needs to be great for us to have a really good chance next year.
Yeah, I mean, Caden's interesting because he's been really productive when he's got in. Sometimes he's fallen into some sacks where I just laugh because he gets some crazy luck sometimes where guys will go the wrong way and he'll get a sack. And people say, oh, he should be starting. I was like, he's not in the same universe as Jack or JT, but he got to be better this year. I mean, his biggest problem is just small. He's not. I mean, he's a guy that if I went against him, I mean, I say run behind me every single snap. So I'm gonna destroy this little guy. But he's very quick. Again, what he gives up for with his size, he's a quick guy. He's a pass rusher. So I mean, those are guys that. Same with Kenyatta. Like for our defense to work and for those guys to stay on the field, they've got to be better against the run. Because there's a reason why Larry Johnson couldn't put him in for a single play versus Notre Dame 2 years ago. I mean, I don't know if that I'll have the rest of my life where we have our 2 defensive ends play every single play versus the team. It's because they were so bad against the run. They'd put them in, they get pulverized. So, Jack and JT had to go out there and play 65 plays, which is crazy. But this is it for Kaden. I mean, there's no sand left in the hourglass. He's a senior, and the depth chart's cleared out now, and it's time to go. So I hope he has a huge year. He needs to have a huge year. And Matt Patricia gets a lot out of guys because he's going to remind him of Ninkovich, because that's his comp is Rob Ninkovich. And guys like the Patriots guys, they can always get a lot out of those tweener type guys. Figure out ways to move him around and accentuate what his strengths are. So I'm really excited to see what Matt Patricia can do with him. James Hammond, thank you for the 5. What about LaCharles Bentley? No update on that. Again, I know that he met with the team. I haven't heard anything else. Again, he's got NIL deals with Arizona State and Oregon or whatever, where he trains their guys and goes to their campus and, does whatever. So I haven't heard any update from Ohio State. I don't think he's ever going to be a formal coach, at least not in the near future, because I think that obviously when you've got your line coach, and the thing I don't know, honestly, is I have not heard any update on Tim Drevno. Because the thing that was interesting is that the Las Vegas Raiders, they filled their second line coach with Cleveland's old line coach. So I would have lost a fortune, think that he had gone and followed Chip Kelly. So I don't know what his status is. I have no idea. Now, he might not be in the building. I have no clue, but I'll check on that. But I'm not really that worried about an assistant line coach. But and the other thing I'm worried about is they still haven't officially announced Tyler Bowen, which is weird because everybody in the world seems to have already pronounced him. I mean, Ryan Day literally in his interview with Dom Taveri talked about Tyler Bowen and this is what he's going to do and this is his role and this is why I hired him. But his Twitter bio still says Virginia Tech. And so Ryan Day's talking about, I'm like, dude, this guy's going to get his Ohio State stuff updated so he can start recruiting. Even though it's a dead period, he can still start tweeting at these kids. So I don't know. That's weird to me. Nevada, anything on LaCharles?
No, I mean, LaCharles, like I said, it's going to be some sort of a consultancy. Won't be a full-time position. The Tyler Bowen thing is just going through, the job posting and acceptance and getting out of the contract and moving. So that's just procedural. So there's no drama. There's no backstory there. That's going to happen.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Ryan Day literally talked about him already. So I mean, I know it's just weird that normally when these guys get announced and it's confirmed and they're talked about, their Twitter updates are updated. The thing's updated the next day. But again, I don't really care. It doesn't matter. Michigan football pro James Yoder, thanks for the 5. Easiest $2,000 I'll ever make. Whoo! Boy.
Oh boy.
Counting the money, man. You're gonna call you Draftistan Poppy, baby. Draftistan. There you go, Nevada.
He's got to. I mean, I just hope that he pays the money. Doesn't try to pay him some Michigan bucks or something like that, and some credit.
Yeah, we don't want stock in the
store
MDen,
credit.
Yoder.
Store credit for the
don't give us your MDen gift cards, the now defunct Michigan bookstore. Oh, I bought you a $20 million thing for a store that's got big tape over it, and they've already had their flea market sale. Oh, Yoder, you're the best. Thanks for the 2Gs, man. It's gonna be wonderful. Dan Welch, thank you for the 5. DV portal, we need some depth. Nevada OH. I mean, Sam Williams-Dixon came back. I don't know how many running backs we need. I mean, we've got 2 guys that are, one started and played a lot at West Virginia. We got James Peoples, who I think is special, and you got 3 freshmen, Bo Jackson and Turbo Rogers, and then you got Sam Williams-Dixon coming back. I mean, you can only play 1 usually, and you might have a couple packages for 2. So you need the pair and the spare thing. You need 2 and a 2 back rotation for games. But good God, I just don't know how many you can fit, in my opinion. But again, I could be crazy. Nevada, do you think we need another running back? Dan Walsh, I appreciate you. Thank you for the 5. Says, do we go and get another running back in the portal? I mean, with Sam Williams-Dixon, now again, he just came back in the last week or so. So if he is 7th string at spring, could he jump right back into the portal at spring? Yes. So I don't, it really depends on how many guys jump in the portal after spring ball. Nevada, do we need to go out and get another running back in the portal? What are your thoughts?
I don't think that's crazy talk. I think if the right guy presented himself. I can see Ohio State. I mean, I think Ohio State's going to be active in the second portal window. I think the second portal window is going to be big for Ohio State, and running back's been one of the positions that I've been kind of thinking in the back of my mind that they may make a move. So that I don't think that's crazy talk at all. But just depends on who's available. If it's not a special player, obviously you don't go for him. But if it's somebody that's that can make a difference for Ohio State in 2025, I don't know why you wouldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah. And that goes for every position. Super easy. If it's a guy that can help us at any spot, let's go get him. Joe, thank you for the 10. How soon after Matty P is named DC does he report to the Woody to get started? Is it a couple days, or does he call the wife and tell her to pack the U-Haul and report that day? Nevada OH. I would guess he probably got some work in today. And then they're off at noon tomorrow, so he'll probably get some work in tomorrow and kind of get some of the base stuff. I mean, there's not a ton of stuff to do. I mean, he can, he's got to watch film of the players, which again, with the iPads, you can go take it anywhere and watch film. But he, I'm sure wants to get his office set up, familiarize, because, next week, I mean, they're going to start 6 a.m. workouts pretty quicker. So he wants to get around these players a little bit, learn their names, learn what they look like. I mean, hell, Ryan might have to put, name badges on their shirts. I always thought a really smart thing for coaches to do is print up personalized these Nike workout shirts and put their names on the back, like it's a jersey. I always thought that was smart for these new coaches because, for some of these coaches in 2012 when they showed up, they couldn't remember half the kids' names because, when everyone's in the same gear and sweaty and running around and there's 120 new guys to learn the first week, it's hard to remember them all. So you can't fault them. So be interesting to see if they do that or not. But I think he's probably getting some work in and again, Monday, it's go time. So you don't, in coaching, your wife has to figure it all out. You leave her behind and the guy goes ahead and he's working and he's collecting the money and the woman's working with the moving companies and get everything packed. And that's just how it works in that profession. Cause they make so much money. It's he's got to go ahead and get ready to roll and you got to kind of bring up the rear with all the gear and move it. So, if they move, again, I don't know what their situation is. And, I don't know if they keep their house. I don't know if they rent a house here. I mean, obviously Matt Patricia's not gonna be here longer than 2 years, in my opinion. And he's going to be a guy that's going to do a good job and try to get back to the NFL because he's an NFL guy. But I'll enjoy him while he's here, just like I enjoyed Chip Kelly and Jim Knowles. So, Nevada, your thoughts on Matty P and how quick do you think he reports to the Woody? And does he call the wife and tell her to pack the U-Haul? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was kind of like an Air Bud when they had the little Air Buddies. They had little puppies, and Air Bud had to go on the football field, and the wife came behind with the puppies. So I think it's the exact same thing. I think he's going to go, and as a good wife will, she'll bring the puppies behind him and come to beautiful Columbus, Ohio. Probably live next to the Bartons, but then Barton and where do you live? Peabody Estates or something like that. Something like there's a little gated community out there.
Is that like the community at the end of the game of life where you can live in the Peabody Estates or there's the one you go through that can steal the life tiles and then there's Millionaires Row and then there's Peabody Estates. There's Air Bud Estates. Yes. Millionaires Row, you're eating London Broil and Peabody Estates. You're just drinking energy drinks to stay alive, like I do. So, yeah, no, you're at Millionaires Row, baby. It's like Boardwalk, except much more scenic.
Tell Kim we got an extra $1,000 coming into the hopper there from Yoder, though. So thank you, Yoder.
Oh, I hope she's not listening. She probably already has it spent, guaranteed. Even though we're not gonna see it until May. She's already. I'll have that red minus 1,000 in my bank account, as I'm speaking. I can't wait to see it. We don't even have it yet, babe. I don't care. He's good for it. Yoder's good for it. So he won't. Yoder. The good thing about Yoder is he won't be a total derelict moron like the rest of the Michigan people are. The bookstore owners, the athletic director, the coaches, the staffers, the players. Yoder will come correct, and his stuff will not bounce. Oh, here we go. Thanks for this. Well played, Nevada. No way. He gave you $2 for the Air Bud thing. Really, Joe? Don't encourage him. He's gonna be drunk off a chocolate milkshake tonight. Or a
Oh
strawberry
man,
chocolate Oreo.
Strawberry
Yeah.
Oreo for everybody. Strawberry Oreo,
know.
go all the way around. I can't wait.
It's gonna be
I'm so
ordered
excited.
at my Crescent Moon table at the UFC T-Mobile World Championships.
Me and Jessica's got your seat. I got it's gonna be my two boys, Jessica and me, at the table. So much fun.
Oh, you're gonna leave Kiki's boyfriend outside. Say, hey, sorry, Kiki's boyfriend. You get to sit outside.
He's gone.
You go sit in the
Jessica Alba
cheap
is gonna be with me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
exactly.
sorry,
way,
Kiki. Kiki's been running around all the bars in San Diego, having everyone follow our podcast. She's gonna be unfollowing them all now. Remember when I clicked follow on your phones? Make sure that you unfollow. Delete your YouTube account so they can't find you. Kiki, we love you, girl. Keep on fighting the good fight in Southern California. All right, Nevada, let's wrap this thing up. As Team USA, it's 0-0, but they're on the power play. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm super excited about kind of following along the winter workouts, and look, it was a long season. So like you said, guys are just coming down off the celebration high, the banquet circuit. Now they got to get right, the Patron parade. Now they got to get right back in. But tomorrow we all get to celebrate it because Jim Trestle is the freaking lieutenant governor of the state of Ohio. I mean, that is so great. So take lots of pictures, and if you're there, go introduce yourself to the most valuable primate, Kirk Barton, who is going to be there representing the Buckeye Scoop.
And when you see all the other media people, make sure you walk past them all and say that Scoop had it first.
Scoop had it first.
They'll start tearing up in the middle of the rotunda. It'll be great. No, they didn't. No, they didn't have it first. They didn't. They really didn't.
They just. Or if you want to distract them, tell them that there's an all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue place opening around the corner or something like that. That'll send them into a frenzy.
It would. It'd be like bloodlust, wouldn't it? They'd smell like a food truck or something.
I like Korean barbecue. You like Korean barbecue?
What is that? Is that like we cook it in front of yourself or whatever?
Whoa! You don't know what Korean barbecue is?
No, I don't know Korean. Well, I know. There's a flavor of wings that's Korean barbecue. What?
Mr. Barton, you're such a cretin. You're such a cretin. I got to take you out and get you out more, man. I'm telling you.
I will say I do play as Korea on Civ 6. They're pretty good in science. they're actually really. They're like overpowered good. They're like one of the top 5 civs.
Really good. Yeah, they're really good. Sejong.
They can't mess with Russia though. Russia's Catherine. Catherine's nasty in that. But then there's my favorite, the Mongols. My boy Genghis Khan, baby.
You do like the Mongols. You do like the Mongols. You were the battering ram. Yeah, the battering ram.
The cavalry, man. They move like all the way across the map in 2 turns. I was like, Genghis is getting it, baby.
Keshiks.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. The Keshiks are their OP. I love it.
All
right,
they are.
Let's get out of here before we get delirious. All right, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for kicking it with us as always. If you guys enjoy our content, please say like, click subscribe. Also click that little alert bell. Hope you guys had a great Thursday. Happy Valentine's Day to all of our Scoop homies and family. Hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day. If you're single, if you're married, if you've got a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, I hope you guys have a great day. And if you're single, enjoy it because that can also be cool. That can be very fun too. So I hope you guys have a very, very good time tomorrow. I will give you guys some updates from the Rotunda. It's gonna be awesome tomorrow. I can't wait. So I'll be on the Scoop with the game thread going crazy. I'll try to get some photos for you guys. So if you guys enjoy our content, please leave us a like, click subscribe. Also click that little alert bell. If you want to help us out in a humongous way, please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts. Take your iPhone out, click on the purple podcast button, type in Buckeye Scoop. Click subscribe. It takes 8 seconds, and it's the greatest thing in the world that you could ever do to help us. So we appreciate you guys so much for doing that. Also, leave us a 5-star review. It's an easy way to help people find the show and keep us far and away as the #1 Ohio State podcast. It's not even close anymore. So we appreciate you guys. So with that being said, thank you so much, Buckeye Nation. Thank you, Scoop family. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night. I hope you guys have a great night. And turn on this Team USA game on ESPN. It's pretty good. The USA and Finland's playing, so if you guys like hockey, but I mean this tournament is awesome. It's the best players in the world playing against each other for the country. It's incredible. So I hope you guys have a great night. Go Bucks.